Welcome to the Spiritual Sleepover with your hosts, Dana and Shayna from DayLuna, and me, Steffi, aka Spirit Sis. This is the show where the vibes are high and so is the chaos. Today we're going to talk about alien encounters, which is a long-awaited episode, or formerly known as aliens, UFOs. What else would we call extraterrestrial? ETs. So welcome to the show.
Formerly, now we just call them aliens.
Why did I say that? AKA formerly known as Prince.
And honestly, this is a conversation that I'm excited to share on this with you two, because aliens is something in my life that I used to be against. Like when I was in high school, I was a hardcore atheist, and I was like, aliens do not exist.
Wait,
like,
what?
Sorry, yeah, you didn't know
that?
Wait, no, but being an atheist has nothing to do with believing in aliens.
No, it doesn't. But I think I just was like,
you're on the hate train,
closed to like any type of like magical thinking or anything that wasn't like proven. I was like, then it's not proven. Like even with past lives, I would say would be like an exception to that, because my family were really into past lives, but I still didn't fully, even astrology. I used to say, like, this is when I was like 18. I used to be like, I don't subscribe to those things, but I do think that they're interesting to reflect on and like talk about more in like an archetypal or psychological way. But with aliens specifically, I was like, aliens do not exist. They're not real. I don't believe in them. Yeah. So that's where I'm coming from. And I feel like, I've gone such a long way in my spiritual journey, and aliens has totally been a part of it. So I just wanted to talk quickly about that. Like with aliens, you know, for so long, I was hearing other people that I really admired. Everything else that they would talk about in the spiritual space, I resonated with. And then they would talk about aliens. It's like, it's so interesting that I resonate with the frequency and the feeling and their intelligence of the other things that they're saying, but they believe in aliens and I don't, you know, I put in quotes. And so over time that started to kind of like open my mind. Maybe I'm missing something, because these people, like there's other people who are talking about aliens and I'm like, I don't resonate with them. And so it didn't draw me in or make me feel more open. But for the people that were talking about it, I was like, what is this about? And I want to like kind of discover it and be more open to it. So I started setting the intention to just be open to aliens and to see what came. And one day we were in a breathwork session. Shayna, you were there, but we were on Zoom. We were like remote. So we were in the same breathwork class. And I set this whole intention. I was like, okay, today my intention is, if there are aliens of some kind, I want to connect with them, or I want to know what this is about. And I went so deep in this breathwork session and got to that place, you know, at the end where you're like meeting God and the universe and like you're just expanded into everythingness. And then that is when this freaking alien came into my vision, and we were like head to head, third eye to third eye, like our foreheads touching. And it had these giant blue eyes that were the most beautiful, like globe-like, orb-like eyeballs, but they were like dark, deep blue. And its skin was kind of blue and translucent. And I got the feeling that it was not really like a physical form totally, that it had such a high frequency that it wasn't completely physical, but it was partially physical. And as we were eye to eye, it was like this recognition of like kinship, and like even like we were family, or even like we were one and the same, like literally oneness energy. And I felt all of this like deep communication, but it was all telepathic. So none of it was words, but I just completely understood. And I think that this was the first time in my life that I ever actually truly experienced telepathy. Before that, I didn't know what it felt like, how it just feels so normal, and you don't fully realize that they're even speaking, because you just understand everything they're feeling or everything they're thinking. So you're not even hearing language. And this alien was telling me, like, I am the same as you. We are the same as humans. We're all one family. We're here to like help you and guide you and help you remember love and help you remember consciousness. And the energy that I felt with this alien, there was just so much unconditional love. It was like meeting God, but it was also like meeting myself, or like my higher self. And it was the most magical, amazing initiation into connecting with aliens for me, because it was so emotional, you know, like it made me cry, like tears. And then when I came out of that breath work, I was like, oh shit, that was crazy. And also it's just really cool that so quickly after I asked and I decided I was open, I was able to make that connection. And so I was like Googling, this was a long time ago, maybe like 8 years ago or almost
that was what I was going to ask.
9 years ago now. And so the internet has changed a lot. And I feel like there's way more like heady spiritual alien stuff on the internet that you can find now. But then I was like Googling aliens with blue eyes, like dark blue eyes, and like trying to get, and a lot of the things I found were the alien type of species that people call, I can't remember what it is right now, but it's like basically they're like Nordic or like Scandinavian or something like that. And I was like, no, that wasn't them. Like it didn't look human. It looked like a legit alien from like the 90s sticker with a big head and the eyes. Like it looked like that with no hair. Like, because since then I've connected with other alien forms that don't look as stereotypical of what you would think of as an alien. But anyways, that was my first introduction into aliens, and it was really a beautiful experience. And since then I have this whole perspective on them of, I still have never connected with a UFO, which I think we talked about this on the last Spiritual Sleepover, which is why I wanted to bring it up as like a topic in this one. I've never connected with aliens in a more physical, like 3D plane way. I've only connected with them through meditation, astral travel, breath work, dream work, like kind of more in that like higher dimensional state that's less close to our physicality. But that was my entry point into connecting with aliens. And I feel like I've had a lot of different stories and encounters and connections that I could share since then.
And you're an Aquarius rising, which it's so funny.
Yeah.
Your whole story in general of being like resistant to it is also so Aquarius rising. Like, I'm
know.
not a sheep. I'm not going to believe other people. But meanwhile, you're like dying for connection with aliens. It's like the most Aquarius rising thing ever.
Everything in my life is like that. Like, I don't believe in marriage. I literally don't believe in it. Like, I think it's a governmental trap so that we have to like be forced, whatever. And then I'm the first one of my friends to get married. Like, even with having a child, like one of my biggest, choosing to become a parent, one of my biggest pushback points was like, I just don't want to do the thing that people expect of me. So every time someone would say, you would make such a great mom, or you and Jared are so happy together, you should have a kid. I was like, why are you projecting onto me societal expectations about how to use my creative energy? Like, I will use my creative energy however the fuck I want. And then I decided to have a kid. You know, I like try to like rebel against
You're
it.
now about to have a kid in like a day.
Exactly. Literally any second. An alien baby, I think. But
oh my gosh, I love it. From my perspective as a psychic medium, it's funny because aliens for me was not something that was on my radar. Like I had too much going on with the ghosts and the paranormal,
right.
But I was very open-minded to it. And in high school, whenever I would share my ghost stories, my high school sweetheart, my boyfriend at the time would be like, I like alien stories. So he would always share. But one of the main stories he said is he went to visit his uncle who was like on his deathbed, and his uncle was really weird and strange, you know, ostracized from the family. But when he was dying, you know, people were like paying their respects, and he worked in the government for, I think like a decade or two decades, actually a long time. And no one ever knew what he did. He always like, you know, skirted around the topic. And on his deathbed, he grabbed my boyfriend by the collar and was like, you're the only one who's open-minded for this. Cause he's a Pisces. He's like, aliens are real. I worked for a decade at Area 51. It's real. You can communicate with them every day. They are I have goosebumps. They're an intelligent species, and you need to be prepared for them to come. And if you are willing and able to communicate and connect, you will be like helping consciousness.
Whoa!
That said that on his freaking deathbed.
Yes, it's like so like a movie.
Last words. Like,
I know, right?
Listen, aliens are real.
And then like my poor 16-year-old boyfriend had this like pressure of like, I have the alien consciousness on my shoulders, right? But he would tell it at like parties. We'd be around a keg, and like I would tell my ghost story. We were like a good duo, and then he would like tell his alien story. So that was still the same.
What was his sign? This boyfriend?
He's a Pisces. Pisces.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And what's interesting too is this was the same time that media was covering aliens. Like Signs was huge, the M. Night Shyamalan movie, and they were portraying aliens as this like horrible.
Scary.
And I remember watching the movie and being like, I'm with the aliens. These people suck, you know? Like I remember that. But then like you, Dana, just to like follow up with recently, again, I've started feeling, maybe when the age of Aquarius started shifting, I was like, I really want to connect with aliens, and I haven't. So it was last year, and I was underneath beautiful sky in the desert. I went to Anza Baringo, Is that what it's called, Dana? Anza Borrego?
Anza Borrego.
Yeah. It's like this beautiful, the more skies than we see in LA. And I was in this hot tub. My baby was in bed. I had a little buzz on. And I was looking up at the sky. And telepathically, which I also heard is the way you connect with them, I said, if you're real, I'm open and I'm willing to connect and I want to learn from you. Just show me a sign or whatever. And I looked up at the sky, didn't expect anything. And I saw this green swirling neon light go like this, like swirl in a circle. Sorry, you can't see it if you're not watching the video, but it was literally like a spiral. And then it came really close and backed away. And that was it. So, and I haven't had any contact, but I wasn't scared, afraid. I was like, that's cool. It was neon, like completely lit up the sky, bright green. And it was honestly the most incredible thing that ever happened. And I did not feel scared. At first I was like a little like, whoa, did that just happen? I was gaslighting myself. And I was like, no, that actually happened. And so now I'm ready to connect more. But that's like my only really experience were those two things, like a story from someone else, how it's portrayed in media. And then, just last year, not even a year ago, that happened. And, when I was actually making the intention to connect.
That's crazy. Wow. I'm shocked by both of your stories because I feel like they're so different from mine. But also I feel like I'm shocked that you didn't believe in aliens, Dana, when you were young, because I just have always believed in them since I was probably out the womb.
I hardcore didn't.
So crazy
like would get in like debates in high school with people about it and stuff.
And that's, I think, just your defined mind too.
Yeah.
Having a defined mind versus Steffi and I having an undefined mind. Like for me, it's like, there's so many planets. There's so many, like the universe is so huge. But I do think that I could go so many different places with this conversation that I have to like reel my ass back in because I'm possibilities perspective, which means that I love all the endless possibilities. And I think that I've just grown up watching so many, Star Trek and Star Wars and all of the alien things that literally exist.
You're
all
from
of the
like
sci-fi
a Star
things.
Trek family.
Yeah, my dad worked for NASA. He worked at the government.
Yeah, it's a karmic.
It's a theme.
It's a theme. So like I grew up, stargazing and watching all the meteor showers and
Which so did I. But
dreaming about aliens and
no
talking
aliens
about
in my meteor shower watching.
So crazy. It's crazy that anyone can look up at the night sky and not think that like we own it, like that we dominate it all, like we're the only life there. Like there's just so much. It's so huge. And human design, it's interesting with the galaxy and the universe. It really talks about the Big Bang being like conception and that the universe is expanding because it's like expanding consciousness. And I like to think of it as like a baby in utero that's like growing a fetus, and that we're all just like tiny little cells doing our little job, and all the stars and the galaxies are all just part of like a being formed. So it's like in one sense you can see it like that, where it's this macro version of like our micro experience of creating life within our own bodies. But on the other side, I'm like, it's so hard to wrap your mind around space and aliens and it being so huge and vast and limitless, right? With all of the different things. So I want to say that my experience with aliens has been that huge, vast possibilities of like, oh my gosh, like I
just
know
the
that I
sheer
don't know
possibility.
anything.
Yeah, the sheer possibility opens up to the fact
and
that
I love learning
probably
about
they're
them.
here.
I love watching them in TV and movies and shows and books, and I love that open, vast, like we have no fucking clue. Now, when aliens came into more of my spiritual life, that's where I was like, wait, I don't know. Like, is that just us humans trying to wrap our mind around something that's so vast, where we're like, this is the Palladians and this is the Lemurians and this is the, the Arcturians and the this and the that. And I'm like, but they do echo throughout different cultures and different times throughout history, human history, that I do think that there's some truth there for sure. And I do also really know that there's truth within telepathy and, spiritual connections with different consciousness. Like our consciousness is so much more vast than the physical 3D world that we live in. So I do definitely think that we're going to be experiencing more physical 3D alien experiences because our consciousness is expanding, and that consciousness is a way to communicate, like you're saying, Steffi. So I think that we're going to be seeing that more and more. And obviously we see that in the astrology and all of those shifts happening. Like we're going to be having more physical alien encounters, and we already have been having a lot of more things, but also we now live in a time where it's like, is that AI? Is it not? Like we're all so desensitized that we're like, cool. Like we're not that shocked.
And like the CIA has literally released papers saying that there is actual proof that they have connected with some type of ETs that were unidentified or unknowable in some way.
And we're all just like,
and we can't even react to it because we're also overstimulated to all of the things and everything we don't know how to trust.
Us millennials are.
Yeah,
especially.
It's like, even though the CIA is admitting it, we're like, well, we don't trust anything that they say anyways, and we don't trust anything in general. So it's like, I feel like it hasn't
just
gotten
a distraction from the Epstein files. Like we don't know.
Exactly.
So it's just like
Obama also admitted it in a recent interview. They're like, aliens. It's like, he like, no, it wasn't even any hesitation. Like he knew something for sure.
But I'm
so
like, that's
hot. I can't. Like,
I knew.
He's a Leo projector that grew up in Hawaii. Like literally the other day, me and Jared were laying in bed and he was watching a video about President Obama, like talking to a small child. And he was like, that's a fucking president right there. And I was like, he's a Leo projector that grew up in Hawaii. And then Jared's like, yeah, that's hot. I was like, yes, it is.
hot.
That's fucking hot. Okay, sorry. Interrupted.
So,
Obama tangent.
There's always a good
Shayna,
thing.
I want to ask you to share your story about the energy work you got. Remember
so that's where I was going to go next.
Okay. I was like, that's my favorite story.
Like, it was so new to me to be like, oh, wait. Like, even when I listened to podcasts where they talk about like, oh, yeah, I'm an alien. I was like, what? Like, you're an alien? Like, your soul is an alien? Or like, you were like, your consciousness is an alien? Or what does that mean?
People
like,
say
you're
it too,
an
like,
alien.
I've heard of people say it in like a creepy 3D way, like that person's a gray, like an alien gray, but they're like in a human suit, like pretending to be human. And I was like, ew, that does not feel good. And I don't resonate with that, versus like once I understood what a starseed is and like your soul lineage. But anyways, go ahead. So you hear people talking like about
that,
it. Which way do you feel like?
I feel like I resonate with like your consciousness or your past lives or your soul is like had different lives on different planets and different like that I resonate with 100%.
Same, yeah.
But the like physical, like they're a reptilian or some sort of like physical thing, I think that comes from like our ego not really wanting to understand people and then putting a label on them as like being bad or secretive or whatever. I think there's some weird shit wrapped up in this alien talk in like the spiritual community.
And I'm also like not a conspiracy theorist just because I don't like fear mongering. So like there's a lot of conspiracies that I believe in, but I don't resonate with like being, I put in quotes, a conspiracy theorist, because I don't like sometimes how there's like this scary fear and this dark secret and just that the energy behind that of like the fear and the darkness and like it
which
just
that's one of the
like doesn't feel
godheads
helpful to me.
There's like a huge chunk of people that are literally conditioned to be conspiracy theorists, which is so interesting to see like, oh, that's why we have so many conspiracy theorists, because they probably have that godhead conditioning their life, which that's a way more advanced facet of human design. If you're listening, like, what the fuck is a godhead?
And also, what is possibilities perspective? Also human design. In case anyone's listening, like, what is she talking about?
It's all human design. But yes, okay. So aliens being more physical,
per
it's so
usual.
hard to get through this because
per usual, I'm an alien.
I have this energy healing and I'm doing this Reiki session, and at the end of it I'm like, it was a great session, and then she like, and it's my first time ever meeting this woman, and she sits me up and she's like, you're an alien. And I was like, what? She was like, you're an alien and you are the right hand commander of the Ashtar commander. Like, you're the right hand man to the Ashtar commander. and like you've like fought in many like galactic battles with him, and now you're on Earth
in the Galactic Federation.
And yeah, I'm in the Galactic Federation, and now I'm on Earth to help heal and like fight for raising the consciousness of humanity. And I was like, okay, like cool. And I left.
That'll be $400.
And then I left that, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, what? I don't know.
Because this was a long time ago too,
Yeah.
right? Like this is
This
like
was
10 years ago or more.
Yeah, easily a
Yeah,
decade ago.
this is a long time ago. And so it started this whole spiral where I was like, okay, let me look up the Ashtar Commander. Like, there wasn't too much
Galactic
info online. I
Federation.
probably need to relook it up now.
I was going to say, I bet
There's
Reddit
so
has
much
covered.
more. Totally.
There's probably a subreddit of like Ashtar Commanders on Earth or something.
Yeah. And so it started me to be like, okay, what does this actually mean? Where's the truth in this? And how do I feel with it? And honestly, on like a cell level, like I do feel my body feel like even that name, like Ashtar Commander, I feel like this like chill come over me, and kind of like this like you get the wind knocked out of you kind of feeling. And I always have. So then I'm like, okay, well, where does this lead? How is this helpful? Like, what does this really mean? And I do think that there is value to the different channeled and throughout different ancient cultures and time, like alien consciousness connections that we've had as humans, like the Pleiades, for example, like and being a Palladian, like going to Hathor's temple in Egypt and really seeing all of that, the connections there. Mm-hmm. I do think that it's real, but I don't know. I feel like I'm just ready for like the part of the movie where like the aliens bust in, and like now we all like actually see them. I keep telling people like I'm ready for, like, I'm meant for this. I'm ready for the Fae warrior to bust into my realm and then like
has
make
no
me
alien.
into a Fae. And then
He has no alien connection.
Yeah, I mean, he's from a different world. That's what an alien is.
That's a stretch.
I was gonna say
That's
Shayna's
not
also
a stretch.
in her.
What makes
in her
something an
book.
alien? Like, they don't have to be looking any certain type of way. Like, if someone comes from a different
if they're from
world,
the stars. Yeah, from the stars.
If
they're
Men
from a
in Black has
different
taught me
planet.
anything, it means aliens can be pugs.
Exactly.
Okay, but you're
Like,
ready for the era to
I'm
get
ready
swept
for
away
the
from our human
Fae
3D
warrior
realm.
to bust in, turn me into a
That's
Fae,
fair.
tell me that I'm the queen of their realm.
Ravish you.
Okay, gate 41.
That is what I'm ready for. And honestly, I think that like 99% of all women on our human planet right now are ready for that. That's why these books have become so huge, because it's just like, yeah, it is the fantasy for sure, but also yeah, I think there's a part of us as humans that we're like, we know there's more than just our world, and on our world we have so many problems that seem so important and so stressful and so whatever. But if we zoom out and realize like we're literally the tiniest part of this whole fucking galaxy, like none of these problems even exist. So when we can connect to like alien consciousness or something outside of our solar system or whatever, it just opens us up to really let go of the shit that doesn't matter in our lives, to stop stressing about other shit, and kind of, I think it'll bring a lot more unity. Like if aliens do come in like physically to our world in the next, decade or so, I think it's gonna cause all of this crazy shit to fall away, and everyone's gonna be focused then on these aliens and like what they're teaching us or what they're showing us or if they're killing us. Like it's gonna really draw our attention there, and not so much on like, this is my country and your country's bad and this is my money and this is your money. Like it's really gonna pull us into a place
out of above
unity.
human ego, because it's expanding
Exactly.
to a
But that's
completely
even the
different
really progressive perspective, I would say. And I think maybe because we're all in a spiritual community, we have that discernment to decide, oh, this could be a really helpful thing. But I feel like like you said, Dana, to echo that there's been so much fear mongering in the media about what would happen. And I guess the ego and the state of our world right now, like, and even just thinking of, I don't know, I always bring this back to movies. I mentioned a few, but even like the War of the Worlds and how every single time an alien encounter happens, it's like it wipes out humanity. And I feel like now is the time for us to really be open-minded as to how potentially connecting with extraterrestrial aliens, things like that, can actually raise our consciousness.
Oh my
And
gosh.
we can be more open and loving. I mean, I don't feel like I have an alien bone in my body, whereas Shayna, I feel like when you said I'm an alien, I'm like, totally, you're an alien, right?
Like I'm like, I am an alien, but then it's so funny because I always was like, what the fuck do people mean when they say that? But I feel like my soul is an alien. I don't fucking know. I don't know what I mean by it, but it is my truth.
Yeah, exactly.
But I will say a show that helped me expand my consciousness around like aliens being
what's
helpful
a positive alien
is
show?
like so silly. Oh my God, I can't even remember the name of it. It's the one with Seth MacFarlane, and he created his own.
I worked on that TV show.
He created his own show that's like a spin-off of Star Trek.
Yeah,
I mean,
let me look it up.
and it's kind of like a comedy parody, but also really deep and has like spiritual messages. And they redo a Star Trek kind of theme in it, where they have this alien that's like their species planet is like so much faster. Like the time difference between our time and their time is like so much faster. So their species, like when they first interact with them, they're very primitive and like controlled by religion, and people are starving, and like it's very like medieval vibes. And
The
then
aliens are?
the aliens
It's
are
called
like when they
Orville.
Orville. There we go. So when
And
they
then
go to this
evolve,
planet,
like lightning speed.
well, so when they go to this planet, they're like medieval, and then they leave the planet and they go do something else, and they come back, and or this planet's kind of like jumping in and out of their orbit. I don't know. And then they're like evolved by like 1,000 years, and then 1,000 years, like it's so much faster. And so then they interact with this species after like a month or something, and they've already like evolved to a place of like not needing any resources, where like money isn't a resource that's needed. Like they can just make their what they need, their food, their anything that they need, it can just be like generated from a machine. So like they don't need money, they don't need governments and like working for something. They contribute instead their passion. They contribute their, like if they are passionate about art or they want to teach something, it's not necessarily like needed for you to work to provide for society. And so it just like all of these different themes that they talk about. I mean, I'm paraphrasing it horribly. If you've seen the show, you're like, bitch, there's so much more to it. But it really opened my eyes to see like that there is a potential for an advanced alien species to come in and teach us their technology that's advanced that can help liberate us, and their ways of working where we can actually support one another and not tear each other down in order to do so, and like live and operate from a place of like consciousness, right? Versus survival. And that is what the new paradigm themes are when we're looking at it from a human design lens. And so it's been fun for me to see that through, you know, certain things within sci-fi shows or movies that I think is important. It's not like this survival place. And maybe that's why aliens haven't come through yet, is because we've only been able to really see them in our culture from a place of like, if anything different from me is bad and trying to hurt me, and we it's gonna like take us down.
Maybe Seth MacFarlane channeled that through aliens, like that exact story.
Well,
yeah.
that
so
storyline
connected.
definitely came from Star Trek that he redid.
Oh, okay.
But he did it really well,
then
where I'm like,
they
he's an
probably channeled
alien.
that.
He's definitely an alien.
Wait,
Seth
I worked
MacFarlane,
on that
by the
show.
way.
Like,
Yeah,
and I
that's so
remember they
crazy,
lined,
Steffi.
yeah, and they lined us up. I was just like doing background work at the time, but I remember they lined us up, and it wasn't Seth, but it was one of the assistant directors were figuring out where in the ship we would work based on like how we looked, and we were all wearing these like, I forgot if you remember the outfits, Shayna, but they were like very Star Trek looking, but it was like blue with like shoulder pads or whatever, and they looked at me, and I remember them giving me like a higher command, and they gave me little gills on my ears.
Oh.
So maybe I do have an alien bone in my body.
Yeah, maybe you do.
Your only
I
alien
know.
bone is some gills. Ooh, I
Yeah,
could get that.
I remember
down on
being
that for
like,
you.
well, I don't know how
Mermaid
this is
vibes.
functional on the ship, but I remember being like, okay, I'll get a prosthetic. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Well, here's the
I
thing.
sat him once at the Pantages Theater when I worked as an usher. I like sat
Seth
him in
MacFarlane?
his seat. Yeah, when I was in college.
I sat him. I was like,
Yeah, I was
is that
like-
a sentence? I don't understand
yeah.
what you're saying.
That sounded
I
sexual.
sat him. I was like,
I
okay.
did.
I
You
sat
started
on it.
when I was an usher at a
Not
theater.
sexual. It was absolutely nerdy.
Okay, well, I was going to say about the topic of aliens, like I shared my very first entry point story connecting to aliens. And since then I've had a whole journey, like a complete 180 journey. And even to the point where, you know, I feel so deeply, deeply, deeply connected to dolphins and whales. And dolphin and whales, I think, are very connected to Sirius, to the Pleiades. Actually, they're definitely connected on this like spiritual consciousness plane to a lot of our star families and to a lot of like really high vibrational alien like families that want to help support us. And so anyways, I've come on a long journey since then, but I think one of the things that you can't talk about aliens without is time. Time is a limiting factor in this version of reality that I think has definitely hindered our ability as a collective to easily connect with aliens. And like, I think when I was in high school, I was such a realist. I was definitely like, I have to see it to believe it. And I've learned through my spiritual journey that that's really not how life works. And that life is so much more than just the physical dimension that our senses can perceive. And time, you know, when we talk about how big our universe is and we talk about traveling through that physical space with time as we experience it on the three-dimensional plane, it's really, 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 really far to even other planets in our galaxy. So for us to physically travel on a freaking rocket to go to Saturn or whatever, like it's almost impossible if you're operating on this dimension with how time acts on this dimension. So I think that that's inherently one of the conversations that we have to have around aliens is like, we have to have a consciousness or an awareness that operates outside of this time space reality in the three dimensions. And like, how many people actually understand what a dimension is? I barely understand what a dimension is, but I definitely know that all of my interactions with aliens have existed in a higher dimensional plane or a higher dimensional state. And I think about a lot like this analogy. I read this like article once. A French scientist was studying the consciousness of snails and how quickly or slowly snails process their reality. And their brain processes so slowly, frame by frame, of what they are taking in their senses, like with their sense of sight, for example, that a human can walk right in front of a snail and the snail computes so slowly, it computed the second before the human walked, and then the next thing it computed was after the human was already gone. So the human walked in front of the snail, but the snail never perceived it because of how slow it is. And I think that that is something that happens with humans and like these alien beings, is that they operate
100%.
in a higher dimension. Time is different for them, and it has to be in order for us to travel through space and all of that stuff, right? Like we're trying to make rockets and stuff in a 3D like physical machinery and hurl it through our time space reality, and it's extremely limited. So one of the things that I think is inherently connected to alien species is that they've become so evolved that they've gone into higher and higher dimensions, and they experience time and physicality differently than humans. And for me, I think that what is why my spiritual awakening has allowed me to connect with aliens in a way that physicality, you know, like I've never seen a UFO in the physical plane. The difference of that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that definitely has to be a conversation. Like even in Dune, when I think Dune is a really cool sci-fi like story. If you look at the whole, I actually haven't read the books. I've just like Googled about the storyline, but you know how they have their, what do they call it? Spice. The hallucinogenic, like sacred, sand or whatever.
Yeah.
The people who help them travel through time-space reality. So in that realm and in that world, they had like a battle between AI and humans, and AI almost won. So after that, they outlawed in the Dune world all AI, and they went only to machinery that was like completely mechanical and human based. And then they used human consciousness to be able to quantify like a computer would. So people who were like autistic or savants or things like that, those became the people who were computers. If you watch the movie, they're the people that have the like black line under their lip, and they give those people, I forget what their names are in the storyline, but they give those people the spice, and it elevates their consciousness to this other plane. And that person is the one who is responsible for moving the entire spaceship through space on like a consciousness level. So they are not only the one who's like steering the direction, they're also the one who's like astral projecting the entire spaceship through space so that they don't have to go physically through time space.
And can we just talk about like the person that wrote Dune, like this way back in whatever time, like
because
the
it came
80s?
before Star Wars. Star Wars was inspired by Dune.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay,
and
I
my
need to
dad
look at
was
all the
obsessed
astrology.
with Dune. He was obsessed with the
Yes.
books. He was obsessed with the video games, on the computer
that's
games.
so cute.
But it is like that person that wrote that was definitely connecting with alien consciousness
100%.
and channeling that in. Like it comes from
like,
the ether. It comes from
James
that.
Cameron with Avatar, he's dreamt about Avatar world since he was
Yeah.
a child. And I've heard a lot of people say that they also astral project too.
So I do think that it is worth saying though that there's different types of aliens, right? Like I do think that there's some aliens that are like super advanced where they're navigating
And they're
time and space so
healers.
differently and they're
Right.
connecting with consciousness. But I also think that there's plenty of planets where there's people that are like us and super primitive or that are way more primitive than our consciousness. And so
or
like
potentially so different than our physicality that we don't understand it or perceive it, but they're there. Like their reality is so different than our reality. You know, like for us to be in the physical plane, on this 3D plane, if we're talking about like on our planet, the sun and the earth and the distance between it and being a Goldilocks planet where life can be sustained. Like I've heard people talk about how Venus, which this is like the Hathors, for example, in Egypt, some people say that they are an alien species that used to inhabit Venus when Venus was a different temperature. And
I don't get into
and
that.
they could live on Venus. And then as Venus was dying, like global warming, like how Earth is dying right now, people say, the Venusian like alien life forms had to evolve out of a physical body into a light body in order to live on, because their planet, their Venus planet, was transforming. And eventually people say Earth will do the same thing, that it will get too hot, that it'll die out. Like the Earth is a body and it doesn't have a completely immortal life. It has a mortal life just like any other body. So there'll be some point where Earth is no longer inhabitable for 3-dimensional life, and we'll have to either die out and be completely like eradicated and go extinct, or we'll have to evolve out of our physicality into higher dimensions and become a light body, and then we will be the aliens that go help other people's planet who are dying.
And I think that is probably true. But when it comes to like Venus and Mars and like planets in our solar system that had life, that to me, I'm like, it's just so small thinking to me, because it's like our universe is so huge.
Anything's possible, but that's not possible to you.
Because can I just
bitch,
explain?
please.
Can I just explain my
go
thinking?
ahead.
Because I feel like, what are the chances that there's life on every single planet in our solar system versus like, in the universe, like versus
if
like,
it was
hold on.
closer, like scientifically, if Venus was closer to the sun, it would be the Goldilocks planet where literally water and life can bloom.
I finish? Can I finish?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because the universe is so huge that I'm like, there's life that's like trillions and trillions and trillions of light years away, and like all of the different aliens, like when we look at how tiny our galaxy is, our solar system is in all of the universe, I'm like, there's so many freaking planets that we can't wrap our mind around it, that to then be like, oh, the aliens on Venus, I just feel like, so Earth and Venus and Mars, and like I feel like I always hear people saying like, oh, there's aliens on all of these planets. But I'm like, okay, does that mean every single fucking planet has aliens on them? Like, I really think that we do have a lot of aliens within the universe, but I don't think that they're as close as something within our direct solar system. Like, to me, that feels like not fully comprehending just how fucking minuscule our galaxy is within the universe. Like, we're basically a one grain of sand on our whole entire planet's sand and ocean and dirt that's on this whole planet. We're one fucking grain of sand. So I just am like, there's aliens for sure, but they're not like our fucking next door neighbors, but maybe they are. And maybe that's my being close thinking. I don't know.
That's the other conversation about aliens is actually ancient history. Like when we're talking about Lemuria and Atlantis, and we're talking about, you know, so long ago that the Hathors were alive on Venus and Venus had water and was a habitable planet. When we're talking about ancient history like this and time, like our history on planet Earth is so fucking limited. It's ridiculous. We don't know shit from 2000 years ago, which was literally
even
no
think about
time
the
at all.
dinosaurs. They like make that shit up. I've heard that like
Exactly.
the bones, they just are like, we're just gonna, this kind of looks like something. Like I've heard that, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, and when you go to Egypt and you experience this like alien consciousness, Hathor consciousness, which Hathor is, you know, thought of as an Egyptian goddess and is not always spoken about as like an alien life form, although people did call her like a cosmic mother or like star being kind of energy. I mean, it's really clear that we did not know what was happening on our Earth 30,000 years ago, potentially when Atlantis happened and all of that. And so if we're talking about even further back than that, like it's true that we don't know anything because of time and our limitations. Like we are so deeply limited in what we can perceive and what we can know in the 3D form. And so it does kind of once again open up the possibility that anything is possible. And
that's true.
So something so interesting, like, you know, I live here in Joshua Tree. There's this place called the Integratron, which is like this white dome thing. And I could rant about the Integratron forever. This is one of my projector things that I try to reel in when I'm at a party. I try not to like overshare because I will. And people will be like, nobody invited you to tell that whole fucking story. But there's this guy who lived here in Joshua Tree in the 50s, and he ran these massive UFO conventions, which were super popular in the 1950s. Like literally, I think 50,000 people would come out to Joshua Tree from all over the United States, and they would camp and bring their little travel trailers, and they would sit out and they would look for UFOs. But there's some scandal there because they would face the military base and they'd be like launching rockets and doing testing. And so some people think it's kind of sketchy that they were literally looking towards a military base and then being like, look at all these lights and colors that we don't know what they are, but they're always, you know, testing stuff and blowing stuff up and putting out flares and all of this stuff like that. But anyways, this guy here in Joshua Tree claims that he was out on his property on a full moon, working in the full moonlight since it's so bright in the desert, and that he got abducted into a spacecraft, and the aliens that abducted him were aliens that were from Venus when Venus was habitable, and that they gave him this whole plan of building this healing machine. And that's the Integratron now. It's this big, huge white dome building, but it had like a Tesla coil in the bottom, and then the top would spin. And the idea is that it was a static electric generator. So it would create this type of electricity that's like static electric energy. And when a human walks through it, that energy could like zap you and kill you, but the machine mechanism is built out of wood. So you're walking on this wood, so you're not getting like electrocuted, but you're getting the benefits of this static electric energy.
How cool.
So as you would walk through, it would revert every single cell in your body back to its optimum healing state. So it's like an energetic healing machine, and your cells in your body could regenerate any disease, anything that was happening that was outside of your normal homeostasis form would go back from walking through it. And before it opened, he finished building it. He'd got all the money from UFO conventions, like donated, I think it was like $25 million. And this is in the 50s to build it.
Wow.
So he built it. It was completely functioning. There's only a couple videos of it actually running. The whole top of this white dome building would spin, and then it would create these like, lightning bolts that would go over the top, and it would draw in humidity around it, like a cloud around the outside of the building. And literally a week before it opened to the public, he mysteriously was murdered. And the Tesla coil was stripped from it, and all of the plans are gone. And nobody knows for sure what happened to him. And now you can go to the Integratron, and it's this beautiful wooden dome building. And they do sound baths in this space because it's so beautiful. It's like being inside of a guitar, and it has these incredible acoustics.
Yeah, so awesome.
So you can go in and you can experience it. But the first time I went there was after my first alien encounter that I talked about before. But just being in this sound bath, I had the most profound experience. I was crying. I had these like visions of my life and things that I wanted to do. But in this space, I was like so altered that I was shaking and crying like I was when I went to the temples in Egypt. Like it was like this very physical, like experience for me, and super intense. Like I felt like hungover afterwards. But I open my eyes and I look up. There's an open like skylight in the top of the dome, open to the sky, and there was a little alien peeking down at me, like looking at me, and it was telling me like this is the same type of healing frequencies that exist in Egypt. And so it was just so interesting. That was also a long time ago, like maybe 7 years ago too, 6 years ago. And going to Egypt and experiencing like the Hathors potentially being from Venus, and the energy of the temples in Egypt that are so much more beautiful than the Integratron, but like same kind of frequency medicine experience. And anyways, so all of that is to say that his account is that they told him that they were aliens from Venus. And who knows if any of that is true.
I'm like, I think for sure the technology is true and like channeled, but I'm like, was it Venus? Maybe it was, but my skeptical mind is like, we claim, if we say it's a planet that we already have a name for, it's coming from like
then people can accept it more. Oh,
yeah,
it's coming
from our mind. Our human mind.
Yeah, it could be
like,
a planet that's not
Venus,
but it feels like Venus or something.
Yeah, exactly. But if they said like some planet that we don't have a name for already, like then I'm like, oh, that's real. Like that was legit. Channeled. Like that it was didn't come from a human. Boo, you know? I'm like, okay.
And then it's like impossible to even explain. And it's crazy how in the 50s it was like trendy for people to say, I put in quotes, trendy for people to say that they got abducted into a spacecraft and they probed them and like put them in a, like that literally became sort of like a phenomenon, like a psychological trend.
And like men are from Mars and women are from Venus. And like, I just think that it's like our human brain to be like choosing a planet that's already known versus like if you're something channeling like another realm. Alien like consciousness, I just want to hear like that alien's planet name, you know?
Yeah.
Like
you better be skeptical now, or in the beginning you're like, anything is possible.
I know.
No,
you're really
that's what I'm saying is like that because anything is possible, there's all these possibilities for different planet names. Like why are we only going to like
I see your point of view. Like it's like that seems like some shit that a human made up because it's in our human vernacular.
Like I want all the possibilities of like shit that we don't know. Like give me a name I've never heard before. Like there's too many possibilities for it to be Venus is how I feel. But I am also like, maybe it was like, I don't know shit. And I think that's what this whole conversation
you really have beef with Venus today.
Venus.
Me too.
No, I don't have beef with Venus. I just have beef with the known. Like we're talking about the unknown. Don't tell me some known planet. Like
I just hope for my sake there's no more planets, because my astrology studies are going to have be many more years. Like I can only handle the ones I have.
I'm curious to ask you, Steffi, how do you feel about Pluto? And like Pluto like not being a planet, and then it is being a planet and it being so far away. Like what is your like personal relationship with the planet Pluto? I'm just curious.
Oh my gosh, I love Pluto, and I think it affects us on such a deep psychological level that it absolutely has to be considered a planet from an astrology standpoint. And also, and I've talked about this on the pod before, how Pluto really does categorize our generations in such a profound way.
Absolutely.
that it can't be a coincidence. So
Yeah.
I
think it's
in
hilarious.
Short, love Pluto.
I think it's hilarious how they have a group of social scientists who are studying trends to be able to identify when a generation has shifted. And you could literally just basically look at Pluto shifting instead. But they have
literally
a whole,
by the exact dates it transits. It's like, oh yeah, Gen Alpha ends at this day. I'm like, oh, the exact day Pluto goes into a new sign. Like,
it's
okay.
So exact that it's almost like, are these people even doing their job and actually polling all of these
they're
trends,
just
or are they just
astrologers?
following?
I think they're just following Pluto.
Exactly. They're just hiring astrologers.
And they don't want to tell you. But yeah, okay, let's go to games.
Wait, just to wrap this up in like a short, I just wanted to ask if someone, like a listener here, wants to connect, what's something, Dana, because you have the most experience, what's something you recommend? Well, you're a star commander, but like
I've had experience my whole life. Thank you very much. Growing up.
Okay, sorry.
Okay,
sorry.
Shayna, also,
I'm
curious, to hear your. What
I was going to say
different.
breathwork, like what your experience. Like I've had so many alien experiences in breathwork too. But
okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Ostracize. Oh, I'm pissed. I'm down to debate right now for some reason.
Gemini rising.
The Slytherin house is coming out. My Scorpio ass. Anyways. Yes, I think breathwork. I mean, is that what you were going to say, Dana? What other ways?
I would definitely. And I feel like in general, just setting the intention, like for me, that was huge. Like being open to it, setting the intention. But breathwork was really helpful because dream work, I think, also can be an amazing space, like your sleeping dreams, but it's just a little bit harder to access. And instead, breathwork is, I think breathwork is so powerful because it's so consistent for me specifically.
Same.
But you do have to be, I definitely recommend doing it with a facilitator who is supporting you. And also you have to be open, period, which that's been a really interesting theme that I've discovered in my spiritual journey. As I was saying, going from this journey of being atheist to now like really surprising myself 180 on the things that I believe in. You cannot experience anything if you're not open to it. And that is definitely, and I think for me, potentially my closed mind was also something that makes my journey interesting, like learning how to open my closed mind. And I feel like for me, one of the best things has been allowing myself to be just playfully curious about something before needing to subscribe to it. And I think that that's a really great way. Like if this is a new conversation for you and maybe you're like me or you're like, I don't really believe in aliens, but these girls are all talking about it and it makes me feel curious or whatever it is, just knowing that you can be open without needing to subscribe yourself to anything, that you can be open in a playful way and that, just opening that door can be the first thing that helps you. But also, I think Steffi, like if someone is already very spiritual and very open like you or clairvoyant or anything like that, then you can go a little more fun. Like you don't even need breath work. Like you could do what you were doing and just be like, I want to see a physical sign. I want to receive a message.
Right. And with, I guess my take on it is with anything I do, intention is always key, going into something with your intention. It's just like people are, oh my gosh, a Ouija board is so bad or what this and that. It's like, well, if you go in with the intention, it's bad. So people who say, oh, aliens are bad, just to like cap this episode, it's like the intention is actually we're open-minded, we're curious, and we're keeping a high vibration and expression in how our relationship with aliens are,
Yeah. And this conversation is so big for me. I mean, we could spread it out into multiple podcast episodes, but I also just wanted to say, I barely scratched the surface on this, that Lemuria and Atlantis were huge opening portals for me to connecting with starseeds, with ancient like alien history. So that could be another thing, is like reading books or watching documentaries or even doing meditations around specifically Lemuria or Atlantis. So if you're curious, but you're like maybe just going straight to like channeling an alien or experiencing an alien feels like a far leap for you, just reading books about Lemuria and Atlantis could be something that's really fascinating for you.
I really like for people who are really skeptical, or even your partner who might be more skeptical or not into it, this YouTube show called The Y-Files. The guy is so practical, and he breaks down conspiracy theories, but also like stories, aliens, channeled things that have come through.
And it's
He
called
breaks them down.
like W-Y-H.
H-Y.
Sorry, W-H-Y.
Yeah. Yeah. The Y files
Dyslexic.
versus like the X files, right? And he like gives all the evidence of like, this is why it's real. And then he gives all the evidence of like, but then
This is why it's fake.
like the facts, or sometimes he agrees with it and he's like, there is no refuting evidence. Like, this is like, what do you think? And he's so good at it. It's done so well. It's edited so well with all the visuals that I could watch a million of them. I have. But it's a great place to just start opening yourself up to understanding things like Atlantis or Lemurians or aliens or starseeds.
Maybe we can link that below so people can see it, or resources.
Shayna's like, technology.
Yeah, we can link it below. And also learning more about starseeds. Sorry. I think
Yeah.
I mean,
that's also a
again,
great
just
place.
scratching this. Yeah, that's actually, I love starseeds. Okay, let's just quickly just transition to games. Does that sound good to
Yes.
everybody?
Games.
Sound
I
expansive?
live for a game.
Okay, so Dana inspired me with the game last time where it was multiple choice and we get to decide something at the end. I'm going to keep it a secret, but this is the alien quiz. So are you ready? It's either A, B, or C. And
Are
it's
you
just
gonna
kind of
keep score for us, or should
I'm
I
keeping
keep
score. I'll keep score. And this is again just a gut punch, like which question I say that now I'm gonna get 100 follow-up questions.
Right as you said gut punch, my guts were literally punched by my unborn child inside my. You know how when they get really
revived.
big and they start to like literally rearrange your guts and you can't breathe for a second? You were like,
Good.
gut
She's
punch.
She's a part of the conversation.
Yeah, she hears you.
Okay. All right. So, or she's an alien as well. All right. So, number 1, aliens land in your backyard tonight. Your immediate thought is A, finally my ride is here. B, everyone stay calm. Everyone stay calm. Let's try to communicate. Or C, wait, okay, this is amazing and probably the best story I'm ever going to tell.
Oh. I want to say C if we're going gut punch.
Okay.
Like not overthinking it. I would just be like, wow, like in awe and wonder. I wouldn't be like, let me try to figure out how to communicate immediately.
Yeah, mine is A. My ride's here. But like, can I bring my daughter? Because like I can't go anywhere without her now.
You can. Our ride is here. Okay, question 2. The spaceship doors open and the alien gestures for you to come on board. You, A, step inside. Wow, this feels oddly familiar. B, ask thoughtful questions about their civilization and technology on the ship. C, go in, do it for the plot.
Oh, I'm B on that one.
I'm B as well.
Okay, great. 3, the alien scans your brain and reacts with interest. They say you possess A, genetic markers that are actually very similar to their species. B, you possess highly developed awareness and intuitive perception. Or C, a rare capacity to observe human behavior from the inside and outside at the same time.
Whoa.
Oh.
So, okay, let me reiterate this. So they say you possess genetic markers similar, B, highly developed awareness and intuition, or C, a rare capacity to observe human behavior.
For me, A,
actually,
I think.
Maybe.
A for Shayna.
I'm stuck between B and C. Maybe C.
Okay, yeah. Amazing. Okay, great.
Because I'm a human observer.
Yeah, you are for sure.
These questions are not
Okay.
what I'm expecting each time.
Why? What did you expect?
I don't know, but not that.
Okay. Am I disappointing you?
No, not at all.
Like what? I mean, yeah. Okay. Question 4, I'm done. Quiz is over. Okay, the alien asks you to describe humans. You say A, honestly, I've always felt a little different from them. B, we're evolving pretty slowly, but we're trying. C, it's complicated. You have to watch Love is Blind to understand.
Oh, don't show the aliens Love is Blind. They're going to be
They've
like,
already seen
we're
it.
never coming back to this planet.
Kill off the
It's trash."
species.
I think B. I'd be like, we're trying, like we are evolving. It is happening, but also like we're babies. It's moving slow.
I was going to say B as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Question 5. The aliens ask, what do humans do for fun? What example do you give? A, stargazing and wondering about the universe. B, meditation, creativity, and exploring consciousness. C, making TikToks and talking about Mercury retrograde.
Well, I mean, what do humans do for fun, or what do we do for fun?
Humans.
Because if we're
Humans.
talking about all humans, like, it'd be TikTok and...
I mean,
but if we're talking about like me as a human, I don't even have TikTok.
What would you say for you as a human?
It would be A. I mean, A or B.
Wait, what was A again?
A was stargazing and like wondering about the universe, or like talking about the universe. B is like meditation, creativity.
Okay.
And C is making TikToks or talking about like astrology.
Immediately was like, we eat fruit by the river. Was what I was gonna say. So maybe
that's more B.
B.
Yeah, that's B for you, Dana.
Yeah, and I think I'm A because I'm all about talking about the universe.
Yeah, exactly. This is going how I thought it would. Okay, I love it. For both of you, I'm like projecting what is
Our
happening. Okay.
answers already.
Almost done. Question 6. Yeah. The alien tries Earth food and asks what snacks best represent humanity. You can tell I made this quiz. You chose... You see, this is Dana, you like foreshadowed this. You choose something A, like universal, something fresh, like fruit or honey, or something that comes from plants. B,
yes.
tea or cacao, something meaningful and ceremonial. Or C, all the classics: cheeseburger, fries, pizza, charcuterie, and croissants.
What do humans
obviously-
eat for fun, you said?
What snacks like best represent, or what food represents?
Well, it's just hard because I'm talking about all humans.
Let's just do you if you're having trouble.
I keep
Sorry,
going like
Mom,
Earth
like, all
energy.
humans.
Like I would be like, welcome to Earth. This is honey and fruit. It's our most sacred, beautiful, insanely like amazing thing.
Yeah.
So I would be
think about like you are representing Earth right now. Like they came
like
to
here's
you
the
for like a
best of
field.
Earth.
Yes.
not
Okay,
like,
that makes
here's
more
what
sense,
the
'cause, like-
majority of humanity.
Yeah, they're
is
coming to you
doing.
for like a sample size. Like you're representing Earth right now, and they're saying, Shayna, like what is the best
Show
food?
me something amazing with it. Yeah, not like all humans eat this, because like I'm sure there's a million humans that have never eaten a fruit. Like, which
Yeah, that's true.
Never eaten fruit.
yeah, you haven't seen Survivor lately. There's always a contestant on Survivor that's like, what is this? And they're eating like watermelon. They're like, you've never had a watermelon? And they're like, no. Like literally never had fruit before. They just eat processed
Okay,
food.
I'm gonna repeat
Okay,
it.
so yes.
stereotypical. Your answer's B, Shayna. Can we move on?
That's not true. That is not true.
Wait, Shayna or Dana, what was yours?
Yours is
A.
A. Okay.
honey and fruit. So if I'm putting their best foot forward, I think, yeah, you're right. It's B.
Cacao and tea.
Yeah,
Okay,
cacao and tea.
last question. Before the
Wait,
aliens
Steffi,
leave,
you're
they
taking your score too. As you
No,
go
but
through.
it's
You know
You
which
know
one
your
yours is?
answers.
I
already.
mean, maybe. I don't know. I'll have to do it
because
later.
you would show them cheeseburger and French fries.
Right. A lot of mine are pretty easy. You can tell like which ones are mine.
With
okay,
ranch.
Questions. I wrote ranch and then deleted it. I was like, that's not humanity, but it is in the States.
Okay, so yours
Okay.
would be C.
No,
I think
I
you
was
read all your
thinking-
answers.
No, that's not true. Well, maybe. Okay. So question 7. Before leaving, the aliens ask what's one thing that they should study to understand Earth culture. You suggest 1, ancient civilizations, B, spiritual traditions and philosophy, C, the algorithm, social commentary, and parasocial relationships.
Ooh. Well, if
Earth right now, like,
currently, like I
well,
probably
I guess
would.
it doesn't have to be current, but what do you think is most important?
I mean, if I was trying to show them like where we're at right now in our evolution, I think I would show them C. But like if I was trying to show them what I'm most interested in, it would be B. But I think the point of this for me, I would be like trying to show them C so that they could get an understanding of where we are right now.
Okay.
I feel like A, actually, where I want them to understand our whole species, like all of our ancient history, and
I feel like they already know it, but
that's probably true. But
Like
I'm
I feel
still
like
going
they've
with
been
A.
missing for a few thousand years. And so they would come and I'd be like, okay, here's our homework assignment. Like, here's what we've been up to. Like, we get a D minus.
All right.
That's a
Are
really
you ready?
accurate grade.
Are you ready for the results?
Not quite
Yes.
Not quite?
Oh no, I
Okay.
said not quite an F. D- was accurate.
Yeah, like,
assessment.
Okay.
humanity doesn't get an F. We get a D. We pass,
I'm gonna do the
barely.
results. 1, 2, 3, 4.
skin of our teeth.
Shayna, so if you're doing this at home, it's mostly A's, mostly B's, and mostly C's. Shayna, you got 4 A's and 3 B's, so you're A. That's your final answer. Dana, you're in between C and B. You have 1, 2, 3 C's and 3 B's, so you're B and C equally.
Okay.
And then you can listen and see which one you resonate with more. I feel like you're going to do B more, but let's see. Okay, so if you're mostly A, Shayna, that's you. You are an alien or alien adjacent.
Alien adjacent.
Which
Feels
is-
right.
Exactly. So there's always been a subtle sense that you are seeing Earth from a slightly different vantage point. You notice patterns that others overlook. You ask questions most people never think to ask. And you've probably had moments where the world feels deeply fascinating and strangely unfamiliar at the same time. People like you often feel pulled toward bigger mysteries of existence, the origin of consciousness, structure of the universe, and the sense that life might be something far more interconnected than we originally understood. So you're an extraterrestrial observer with a different perspective. When they encounter you, the feeling is less like a first meeting and more of like a quiet recognition. Ah, there you are. So that
My
is
people.
that's your answer.
Lost.
You're an
I'm
alien.
ready.
How did that feel listening to that? How
Does
did
that
that feel?
track?
No,
Yeah,
that resonates
100%.
so much. I'm like, that sounds like the only thing I want in life. Is for them to
I
be
love
like,
it.
we found you.
All right. So if you
stranded
got
here.
B, you are the cosmic ambassador. So you are the liaison between aliens and humans. So you are the explorer of understanding. Where others see difference, you instinctively look for common ground, underlying motivations, emotions, and shared experiences that connect beings of cultures, beliefs, and perspectives. The ability becomes surprisingly valuable when two civilizations that evolved under completely different conditions attempt to communicate with one another. So you understand intelligence and perceive reality through systems, meaning that humans rarely considered patterns of resonance, intention, collective awareness, rather than simple language.
Okay, but you're like the bridge. You're like
What do you mean?
between
I'm
the
the
two. No,
Yeah,
like if
yeah,
you're
you're the
B,
bridge.
you're the bridge between human realm and alien realm,
Yes,
and you're
the
studying
both.
the
You're the
system. Yeah.
liaison. Exactly. You're like alien
Okay.
adjacent, and you're also human. So you're like going back and forth between the two.
Okay, definitely resonate with that.
Okay, mostly C. This is probably me. But also you, Dana. You're the anthropologist of humanity. So this is what aliens study for centuries and eventually conclude we need someone who understands what humans are actually doing right now. So aliens can study Earth and eventually realize that human behavior isn't random. It follows patterns. So you're the kind of person who notice things other people don't, like invisible rules that shape behavior, how collective moods shift over time, why certain ideas capture people's imaginations, or the strange rituals that humans create to feel belonging or meaning. So you're an observer. You think Earth is fascinating and confusing. You do feel human emotions, but also you are trying to create stories about what's happening and how we're getting there. So your role is to help them
Laughing.
understand
I don't
deeper
feel
psychology.
human emotions.
Yeah, you're pure alien. You don't belong
Genuinely,
here.
I don't feel human emotions.
Which I feel definitely bridge because like I feel so connected to being a starseed and my like Aquarius rising, but I also feel deeply earthy, but not in current society. Like I feel more earthy in ancient, and I have an earth trine in my astrology chart. So I feel like I have that strong like duality between being super earthy but still not like really connected to society now, and then alien. But then also I have equal C's, which I do resonate with, just like wanting to psychologically study humanity. But I feel like Steffi, you're more like participating in humanity, like creating content that like captivates people and teaches people, where I feel sometimes a little like less able to do that and like connect with this society at large.
Yeah, when I was thinking of them in mind, I was thinking, well, the first one was like, I actually was going to write who would get most likely abducted. And so I did the quiz kind of like that, like who's going to be like the sacrificial lamb essentially. But then I was thinking about how, if they came, I would literally teach them about social commentary and things that are nuance. And that's how I came up with C. So it's interesting that Shayna, you're mostly A, Dana, you're B, and a little bit of C, and then I feel like I'm C.
That tracks. That seems 100% accurate.
Okay, cool. I do have another game, but I feel like maybe we should save it for another time. It's just no? I mean, we might.
Dana, you're the boss.
I know, Dana's the boss today.
We could do it. Is it quick?
Sure, I can make it quick. Most
Okay.
likely Alien Edition.
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
quick round,
Let's
like
end
lightning
on it.
round.
Lightning round. Okay,
Yes.
so I'm going to assume most likely, but it doesn't have to be between us. Let's do either astrology or human design, like most likely to.
Love.
Sound good?
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, who is most likely to sell out humanity to aliens in exchange for a position of power?
Exchange.
Lightning round my ass.
Honestly,
Aries.
reflectors.
Capricorns. Reflectors.
Poor
I
reflectors,
love it.
because they want to belong so bad and they want to be invited.
That's
and their ass
true.
is like done being used and abused by humanity.
Who is most likely to be the representation of Earth? Like a representative.
Oh.
I feel
A
like
Taurus
water sign.
generator.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so
Like,
just-
specific. Actually, yeah, Earth signs have it together. Virgo
Just, like,
would
real-
also be great.
Earthy material
Yeah.
plane.
Also Leo
gonna say
though. I feel like
generators.
Leo would would not
Like-
be afraid to step in.
Let me wine and dine you as I show you.
But for sure, a generator underneath the Leo or Taurus, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Who is most likely to be an alien spy living among us for centuries?
An alien spy, Aquarius.
Or Gemini.
Or Gemini. The spy really gives Gemini.
Yeah, projectors.
A projector Gemini.
Yeah.
I love it. Who's most likely to merge consciousness with alien AI, or like aliens right away? Who's most likely to
Man-gens.
merge consciousness? Man-gen.
Oh.
Yeah. They're merging shit all the time.
That's so true. I feel
Yeah.
like man-gen, astrology. I'd say like Pisces probably. Oh no, AI technology, Aquarius.
Yeah, I was going to say Aquarius.
Yeah.
An
I was
Aquarius
thinking,
man
like,
gen. Yeah, they'd
Okay.
be evaporated already. Just say the word and they're ready to go.
Who's most likely to intuitively sense the alien encounter before anyone else?
Ooh.
Probably a water sign.
Yeah, I was going to say like actually Cancer.
Cancer. I feel like a
Intuitively
Cancer would
sense
intuit that.
the alien
How about
encounter
human
before it
design?
happens? I mean, anyone with a defined spleen.
I was going to say anyone with a 6 line in their profile.
Oh yeah, 6 line. That's good. Or
I'll
spleen
do-
to throat connection.
Ooh,
yeah.
I love that. Yeah, that makes sense. Spleen to throat for sure. Who's I'll do 3 more. Who's most likely to start an intergalactic war on accident by saying or doing the wrong thing? Aries.
Also man gen. Aries man gen.
With a 3 line.
Aries. A 3-5 Aries man gen.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Okay, all right.
Could be
Who
my
is-
daughter.
All right, 2 more. Who do you think is the zodiac sign aliens would trust the least?
Oh.
The least.
Or okay, let's make it better because that's a burn. Who would they trust the most?
I was going to do least and I was going to say Gemini, but I think I'm projecting my.
Oh, I was gonna say Pisces, but I'm for sure projecting.
Yeah,
I
maybe
just
this
feel
is
like
just
I just feel like a Gemini could go back on their promise with it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
I feel like anyone with gate 55 is like a prominent placement. Like gate 55 is like the fickle energy. Teeter totter back and forth. I don't know.
Who would they trust the most? I do feel like this is kind of on the same question. Like I feel like a earth sign.
Yeah, I was going to say, going back to how I said a generator Taurus, like just like earthy, grounded, slow burn, consistent. Like that's the person that they would trust the most versus someone who's going to be like, you know, multifaceted and changing their perspective or changing their.
But maybe they value that because they are like that.
It's true.
Oh, okay. That's it.
Who knows? Fun. Thanks
Yeah,
for
that was
preparing
it.
those games.
Yo, honestly, I could do a whole nother episode on just Lemuria and Atlantis, and I could also do a whole
maybe
nother
we will.
episode on just the starseeds, like
Yeah,
getting into
we
like
should.
the different kinds and talking about that because I really resonate with that topic as well. But yeah, I'm curious how everyone listening, when they took the quiz, if they're A, B, or C. If you're A, then maybe you already know what alien you are. And if you're B, then maybe you're wanting to have more conversations around it. And if you're C, maybe you want to eat cheeseburger and French fries.
While making a TikTok about a mukbang. If I've learned anything from the quiz I created, it's that I'm on the right track to showing aliens the way.
I love it. This is ranch dressing. This is our best creation on planet Earth.
It does raise your frequency.
Wait, just for everyone listening,
Definitely
do
alters
you talk
it.
about ranch a lot on your podcast, Steffi?
I'm sure.
Like your daughter, the fact that you sent us that video of her eating the ranch and then like doing her little happy dance, and
yeah.
you're like,
It's-
you were so proud of her, and she was so
It's in
proud
the
of
blood.
herself.
Well, now I created a monster because everything needs dip now. She's like
Dip.
I sent her like the other day. Someone dropped us. My mother-in-law dropped us off a shepherd's pie, which it's a whole other thing. It was like 90 degrees, but we're eating a shepherd's pie. We love it. Mashed potatoes, carrots. Anyway,
Party.
she like grabs a spoonful of mashed potatoes and is like looking around like, where do I dip it? Like
Where's
kind
the
of like
cheese
Yeah, she's
gravy?
like- and I'm like, baby, I was trying to explain to her one of her first life lessons is like, not everything needs a dip, but like, I don't know if I believe that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I do believe that everything does need a little sauce or aioli. So anyway, that's
Stop.
tune in next episode. See, you guys will do an episode on like starseeds. I'll do an episode on like the condiments and like, you know,
life lessons around condiments.
yeah. Also, if there's any investors out there, I do have an idea. It's called Steffi's Sauces.
Stop.
And it's literally just like a fast food or like a dine casual where I have the main thing is the sauce, and then you get to choose what is the vessel for the sauce.
Wow. When I was a
Oh.
kid, I had such a hard time saying condiments and not condoms. And also condominiums and not condoms. Like I called everything a condom. And then my older brothers would like just like tease me so bad. And I was like, I meant condiment. I meant condom. Like it was just like such a hard word for me. So it could also be like Steffi's condom.
Mints. That took a turn.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to teach my daughter how to say that. We just go with dip tip, which honestly would have saved you a lot of
Dip is
trouble.
cute.
Yeah, you should have been able to just say dip dip. Isla's never had any dip dips yet.
Well,
And
when she's with Louis, she's gonna be her manifester ass will
Have
definitely.
you
Yeah.
guys
some dip
given
dip.
her any like sugary sugar that lit up her whole being? Like a cake or
She
anything
doesn't like
that-
sugar.
yeah,
She
Isla's not
doesn't?
really like crazy
She's
for
a
it.
savory
But I don't
girl.
really give her too much of it anyways.
I was nannying this girl who was like 2, and she found a nerd candy in my car, like one single nerd, and she had never had candy
Choking
before
hazard.
ever, and she just popped it in her mouth, and I watched her whole being light up like a
Yes.
Christmas tree, and she was like, like
See?
loved
gosh.
it, and
That's
I was
how
like, oh my
Lucy
god, I
was
just gave her
with
the
the French
first piece
fry.
of candy. Oh
Yes. See,
With
she
dip
was
dip.
like her eyes like got big and wide, and she was
holy
like, and-
shit, I'm
and
so
Shayna
happy
knows
I'm a
this.
human finally.
yeah, she does the more, and she goes like the sign language, and she's like aggressively doing the more, and I'm like, honey, I don't have any more fries. Like, also these are my fries, which is something as a mother I've had to really bend on. Anyway, well, thanks for being
Love
here.
it. Thanks for listening.
Wow.
And listeners, where can you find Steffi? And also tell her if you want to give her capital for her new dip business.
If anyone wants to start a GoFundMe for
Honestly,
Steffi's sauces,
I like the name Dip Dip better than
Dip
Steffi's
dip. No,
sauces.
I want a T-shirt that
Like-
says dip dip.
Like the
Okay.
restaurant should be called Dip Dip.
also, but this is this is proprietary, so no one try to rip this off. This is I shouldn't be telling my ideas during Mercury retrograde. This is like territory. Anyway, thanks for listening.
It's classic manifestor fears.
Yes, I know exactly. You can find me on social media, Instagram, spirit_sis, or TikTok, Spirit Sis, also spiritsis.com. How about y'all?
Dana,
Y'all.
where can everyone find us?
Yes, you can find us at DayLuna at our website, daylunalife.com, and on our Instagram at DayLuna, and on our podcast, DayLuna Human Design Podcast. And right now we're really excited about our membership, our human design membership that's called Your HD Besties. It's such a fun space where we get to have conversations like this, learn more. We meet for monthly ceremonies. So if you want to check that out, we'd love to see you over there. You can find that once again at daylunalife.com.
Okay, so everyone have an amazing rest of your week. Go be your little alien ass out in the world, and
Alien ass.
maybe ask for an encounter or do some breath work or something.
Ask for a probe.
Because it's time. I'm so ready. Have you guys heard the song Earth is Ghetto?
Gosh, here we go.
What?
Oh my God. Look it up on Spotify.
What is it
I don't
called?
want to sing it. Earth is Ghetto. This girl wrote it like back during COVID, I think. And it's like, Earth is ghetto. I want to leave. And it's so good. I'm not going to butcher it because she's amazing. I already butchered it. But yeah, look up that song if you're feeling like an A person. Because also Earth is amazing and beautiful, and you might be a B person like Dana.
We got to hop into our UFO. We got to go.
Bye.
See ya. Love ya.
Thank you for tuning in with us today. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe to follow along and learn more about human design.